and closely now. Before the world began to speak, He already knew your name. I was standing in the echo of the things I couldn't change. Every memory felt heavy, every promise felt delayed. I was chasing every answer like it lived just out of reach. But the silence started trembling when I heard you speak. You didn't shout above the thunder, you didn't break me with the truth. You just called me in the quiet like you always do. And somehow through the noise and fear, through the years I tried to hide, I remembered who I was when you said my name that night. When the world forgets my story, when my faith begins to bend, I hear heaven say so softly, you were mine before then. He calls us by name. When we're lost in the crowd, when our hearts are too tired to cry out loud, He calls us by name. When the night feels long, when we don't feel strong, He calls us by name. Through the fear and shame, through the hurt and blame, He calls us by name. And we remember who we are when He calls us by name. Oh, and we remember who we are when He calls us by name. Oh, I've been hiding in my questions, wearing courage like a shield. Every smile was just a secret, every wound refused to heal. I was searching for a mirror that would tell me I was whole, but I found it in His mercy when He touched my broken soul. You don't measure all my failures, you don't count the times I fall. You don't leave me in the silence when I'm scared to call at all. You come close without condition, you don't ask me to explain. You just speak with so much kindness and you say my name. When my thoughts become a storm and my hope begins to fade, I hear love remind my heart I was never a mistake. He calls us by name. When the weight feels too strong, when the road feels too long, He calls us by name. He calls us by name. When the tears won't dry, when we don't know why, He calls us by name. Through the doubt and fear, through the wasted years, He calls us by name. And the shadows lose their claim, He calls us by name. Just belong. Every heart is telling stories in a language made of scars. We were never meant for hiding, we were never meant to break. We were formed from holy purpose long before our first mistake. There's a voice beneath the chaos, there's a truth beneath the pain. Every soul has been remembered, every tear has left a stain. But no sorrow gets the final word, no darkness writes the end, because love keeps calling softly again and again. He calls us by name. Through the fire and flood, through the dust and blood, He calls us by name. He calls us by name. From the lost to the found, from the weak to the strong, He calls us by name. Every wall falls down, every chain unbound, He calls us by name. And the world starts to change. If you think you've gone too far, hear this truth underneath. You were never forgotten, you were never too late. Every breath you were taking is proof you were made. From the moment you were formed, you were written in His hands. Not a second of your life ever slipped outside His plan. When the noise says you are nothing, when the shame begins to speak, there's a louder voice of mercy calling you free. Listen, you are not an accident, you are not a mistake, you are not invisible, you are not too broken. You are called, you are known, you are loved. He speaks your name, even now. He calls us by name. Lift your eyes and see who you're meant to be. He calls us by name. He calls us by name. When the dark feels near, when the path's unclean. He calls us by name. Every nation, every shore, every old, every young. He calls us by name. And the world will proclaim there is power in His name when He calls us by name. He knows your He knows you. I see healing in the waiting. I see beauty in the slow. I see heaven in the hurting, where forgiveness starts to grow. What I thought was just an ending was the start of something new. When I finally heard Him whisper, I have always known you. When the final song is fading and the curtain starts to close, we will hear Him speak our names as softly as He spoke. Not with judgment, not with anger, but with joy that has no end, calling every lost and broken heart back home again. He calls us by name, from beginning to end, from the fall to the friend. He calls us by name, He calls us by name, through the rise and the fall, through the giving of all. He calls us by name, every tongue, every old, every young. He calls us by Listen closely now. Before the world began to speak, He already knew your name. I was standing in the echo of the things I couldn't change. Every memory felt heavy, every promise felt delayed. I was chasing every answer like it lived just out of reach. But the silence started trembling when I heard you speak. You didn't shout above the thunder, you didn't break me with the truth. You just called me in the quiet, like you always do. And somehow through the noise and fear, through the years I tried to hide, I remembered who I was when you said my name that night. When the world forgets my story, when my faith begins to bend, I hear heaven say so softly, you were mine before then. He calls us by name when we're lost in the crowd, when our hearts are too tired to cry out loud. By name when the night feels long, when we don't feel strong. He calls us by name through the fear and shame, through the hurt and blame. He calls us by name, and we remember who we are when He calls us by name.
I've been hiding in my questions, wearing courage like a shield. Every smile was just a secret, every wound refused to heal. I was searching for a mirror that would tell me I was whole, but I found it in His mercy when He touched my broken soul. You don't measure all my failures, my thoughts become a storm and my hope begins to fade, I hear love remind my heart I was never a mistake. He calls us by name when the weight feels too strong, when the road feels too long. He calls us by name. He calls us by name when the tears won't dry, when we don't know why. He calls us by name through the doubt and fear, through the wasted years. He calls us by name, and the shadows lose their claim when he calls us by name. By name, by name. He knows us by name. By name, by name. By name, by name. By name. Look around at all the faces, trying hard to just belong. Every heart is telling stories in a language made of scars. We were never meant for hiding. We were never meant to break. We were formed from holy purpose, long before our first mistake. There's a voice beneath the chaos. There's a truth beneath the pain. Every soul has been remembered. Every tear has left a stain. But no sorrow gets the final word. No darkness writes the end. Because love keeps calling softly, again and again. He calls us by name through the fire and flood, through the dust and blood. He calls us by name, from the lost to the found, from the weak to the strong. He calls us by name. Every wall falls down, every chain unbound. He calls us by name, and the world starts to change when he calls us by name. If you're scared to be seen, if you're scared to believe, if you think you've gone too far, hear this truth underneath. You were never forgotten. You were never too late. Every breath you are taking, from the moment you were formed, the moment you were formed, you were written in his hand. Not a second of your life, ever slipped outside his plan. When the noise says you are nothing, when the shame begins to speak, there's a louder voice of mercy calling you free. Listen, you are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not invisible. You are not too broken. You are called. You are known. You are loved. He speaks your name even now. He calls us by name. Lift your eyes and see who you're meant to be. He calls us by name when the dark feels near, when the path's unclear. He calls us by name. Every heart restored, every open door. He calls us by name, and the silence breaks when his love awakes. He calls us by name. Called by love, called by grace, called into a holy place. I see healing in the waiting. I see beauty in the slow. I see heaven in the hurting, where forgiveness starts to grow. What I thought was just an ending was the start of something new. When I finally heard him whisper, I have always known you. When the final song is fading and the curtain starts to close, we will hear him speak our names again, as softly as he spoke.